everybody, and welcome back to Manga for Dummies, episode 3 on Fullmetal Alchemist. Jag couldn't be here today, so instead, we dragged back VJ from the dead.
Hey, also
Nah,
no fuck you, Jag, this time? I see how it is.
no,
Okay.
doing it at the end. So
Great.
pretty much, I heard, well, we spoke to VJ. He said he was so, conflicted by Hugh's death that he just couldn't come on. Is that true?
Yeah, I took a real mental hit. I needed a session to recuperate emotionally.
Right, yes. So, last episode we actually went through chapters, I believe, 6 to 25. And today we'll be tackling chapters 26 to 44. And we're gonna mix things up a little bit. So, after some conversations, we decided that maybe going through chapter by chapter isn't the best idea. So, what we decided to do is instead we each brought some talking points that will go span through these chapters, and then we'll just have a conversation on them. What do you guys think?
I
Yeah,
think
sounds
that's a
good.
great idea. Whoever came up with that is a genius.
Eh, all right, you get this one. Now, for a correction from last episode, because of the rough translations that I've been reading the manga through, I called the Ishvards.
Yeah,
Um,
the Ishbars.
yeah. So
I think it's
after,
Ishbal and Ishbalin, right? Is that what it
well, I
is?
went on Wikipedia and it's Ishbalans with like a B, so
Yeah.
Oh
Ishbalans.
shit.
So
Okay.
I'm
Well,
making,
that's how they said it in the anime.
yeah,
Ishbal and Ishbalins?
yeah, Ishbalans.
Hey, they
Yeah.
be ballin'.
Yeah, it do be like that.
At
Jesus.
least they used to.
So
Whoops.
One
Too
guy's
soon.
still kicking. Anyway.
Too soon.
apart from the flow of the episode, we won't really change much of the greater idea. So we're still not going to spoil ahead of chapter 44, but everything else is good to go. So let's start with my first talking point, which I just thought of, after reading the first of the well, chapter 26, which is the first of our chapters we have to read today, is why did Nina have to become a chimera if there's already talking chimeras?
Oh my God, dude. I was that was my first fucking talking point. I was so it literally it just occurred to me before we started recording and I just added it to my talking points and
Oh,
it
and just
blew my
for
mind.
audience sake, we didn't share talking points. We each brought.
No, no, exactly for context. But yeah, I don't understand it. The only reason I could come up with was that these chimera here that are following Greed were secret, right? And they were meant to be kept a secret. So I, I don't know, man. It's really fucked up to bring up Nina so early in the podcast.
I know, but I
It's
just
I
had to
mean,
get out of the way because it was like, what? We spent like so much time on Nina that this. I would have appreciated if they said like, oh, thanks to Tucker's research, we were able. I don't know, like something like that. But it also
I
doesn't make sense
on
because it made it sound like they were made chimeras like before like even Show Tucker appeared.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They were made after the war, weren't they? The Ishbalan War.
Exactly.
I don't know. My only theory is that they were supposed to be secret, so nobody knew about them, so nobody knew they existed, so they didn't know the technology was there. But I don't know.
hmm.
What about you, Max? What do you think?
I don't know. So they're hanging out with Greed at this point. So he escaped with them. He took them away, obviously, since they're even hiding from the other homunculus
Mm-hmm.
since his fate.
Right. So like Greed operates like solo. Well, he
Yeah,
doesn't operate solo
he's
because
not,
he has his own
he
team.
was part of the other group, but he just pieced out. He's like, it's not
Yep.
for me. I
Exactly.
want to do my own thing. I want to be king. And
Yeah,
so yeah, he got his own gang, and
yeah.
I
It was
don't know
part of
why
his.
the military continued. It seems off why they would accept Show Tucker's experiment in the first place, since
Do you
it's
think it's
up
like one of those like conspiracy
severely under
theories
par.
where they're like, oh,
Well,
there's like scientists in Area 51 that have like technology like years behind beyond us, and then we're just here like still discovering like Wi-Fi.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like
still improving the
we're not
microwave.
ready for it. People aren't smart enough for it yet. They're just
Yeah.
gonna find a way to ruin it. Well, it's like I said, one of my theories is that it was meant to be kept a secret, so nobody talked about it, so nobody knew about it. The other theory is that maybe Tucker's chimeras were different from these, obviously, because Tuckers were more animal based, and these seem to be more like human cyborgs that
Right.
just have animal augments in them, kind of thing.
which make them 10 times better. What?
Yeah,
This one dude does practically a crocodile, just fucking
yeah, straight up the boar dude or the ox guy, whatever it is.
Wait,
like
maybe.
Tucker's experiments so under par compared to these people.
Well, maybe it's like
It's
these
so
guys
true.
are like 20% animal, while Tucker's experiments are like 20% human.
But don't forget, we discovered that King Bradley has like the Ouroboros mark in his eye.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So obviously, this like a side force, this like secret Ninja Turtle force.
Yo, speaking
Yeah,
of
that,
Ninja
Kept
Turtles, I
in
don't
the
know if I.
down low.
Uh,
what'd you
No.
say? What?
no, actually, well, I've actually been watching the 2003 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon recently,
Okay.
and it still holds up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know why I had to include that, but
Fun fact for all you readers at home. Mm. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I don't know. I, it's conflicting, right? Because I guess that's what it is. It's just, the military. A big theme here, I guess, throughout these chapters is that, we're discovering a lot of secrets that the military is hiding. So maybe this was just one of those many secrets, and that's the way I choose to look at it because I refuse to believe that Nina died for nothing. Okay,
yeah,
fuck
it just
that.
can't be. All right, so since
I
this was me and VJ's coincidental same talking point, Max, what do you have us?
Can we talk about how strong Izumi is for a second?
it's
Like, for
just
a
for a
woman who
hot minute.
sometimes doesn't even use alchemy, she beat up these guys with physical augments.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. Oh man, she's wild, man. She's crazy. I love her character. That actually plays into one of my talking points, which is like I said, I was talking about that theme of, revelations, things coming to light and stuff. Um, I feel like you said, Izumi is busted as hell over here, and you get a clear representation of everybody's, I guess, power levels, for lack of a better word.
Right.
And there's something of a power ceiling established, right? Like Mustang is stronger than a homunculi, but the homunculi are stronger than Izumi, and Izumi stronger than the Elrics. So I think that this point is interesting because it serves to build tension throughout the rest of the story, and it's believable. There are a lot of anime out there where through the power of friendship, people just power up and kill the enemy for whatever reason, because the plot needs them to. I feel like this is way smarter in the sense that we've talked about this before, but the use of alchemy forces people to be smarter with it, and with these added power levels, uh, that it's just so much more prevalent in
I
the
don't think it's
story.
about power levels, though. I think it's more about attribute, like how they
Yeah,
use
I
that
think I'm with
alchemy.
Max here.
Because you
So,
saw Ed after kicking Greed's ass by like
Well,
stopping his carbon from forming well, so he could damage him in the end.
yeah, he ended up damaging in the end, but he damaged him in the end, but at the same time, he got his ass beat
Yeah, because
beforehand.
he couldn't figure that out at the start. That's of course he got his ass. He couldn't break through
Yeah.
that shit.
Well, I mean, and then right after that, the fight was cut short, and it was showed just beforehand that Greed could die an infinite number of times, seemingly, until he got, melted or whatever.
but
You're
Um,
right.
actually,
That power level does spike when King Bradley shows up and like shows his skill.
that's what
This
I'm
oh
man is
yes,
saying.
fucking
That's what
wild.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not saying it's the main driving force behind people's fighting abilities, but it's not as black and white as in early Dragon Ball, let's say, where they had the scouters, and it's like, well, this
The
dude's
power
power
level.
level is
Yeah.
9,000, so he fucks you up. In this, it's more like, all right, this dude is way stronger than me. I gotta figure some shit out, or I'm gonna die.
right.
Yeah.
Well, working off that, do you guys think there's like a well, you know how in Naruto there's a chakra system in video games, there's like a mana or MP
Hmm.
system. Do you think alchemy has like such a system?
Knowledge system at best.
Yeah,
You figure the basic, the simple stuff out, and then you build up from that. Or
ex-
in this case, you go from complex to simple, and then you
yeah,
can win that way.
yeah. Max has it on the nose. It's your mana bar is literally the extent of your knowledge. So the more you know, the stronger you can be, and the more experienced also, as like we saw with Izumi, who just kick flipped the dude three times her size without so much as breaking a sweat.
And then
I mean, comedically, she also like proceeds to
non-vocal.
show her fragility. Like after that whoop ass session, she just starts vomiting
When
blood.
she intentionally vomits blood on a dude, that was so fucking weird.
Oh no, that was a great little thing. The dude's like, I won't tell you anything, vomits blood. I'll tell you everything.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious. The comedy is still, I think, super on point up to now anyway. Like that whole part where Ed not, breaks his arm not only once but twice in the span of seeing Winry, and
Oh my
when Shin
god.
shows up, or
Oh
not
yeah, that
Shin,
face she makes.
Lin shows up. Well, yeah, it
She
goes through
beats
like
the
this slow
shit out
romantic,
of
almost
him.
like pseudo romantic thing where it's like, can't catch me, haha. And then in the next scene, you see Ed is just like a
Bludgeoned
pile
to
of,
death, yeah.
yeah, exactly. He's just like a pile of jelly because she beat the hell out of him.
Alright, BJ,
Yo,
it's your
Winry
turn.
doesn't hold back, eh?
What's up, Max?
Winry doesn't hold back. She beats them good.
Oh, dude, she is a savage. These poor brothers, man, they've been through so much. Give them a break. You got Izumi beating the hell out of him. You got Winry almost killing Ed.
It's
It's
not as if
obviously all
Al
for
doesn't
comedic
pay her to
purpose.
repair his automail, you know? Like, she still
Yeah,
beats
yeah, of
him.
course, of course.
Well, actually, I think
Uh,
that's a pretty neat talking point. So obviously none of us are of the fairer sex, but we know that the author is female.
Excuse
So
me?
yeah.
do you think she does a good job creating these likable female characters?
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely. I think it even being a female, she obviously had the advantage in writing these stronger female characters because I've heard a lot of people talk about, the fake female role, like the strong woman
Right, like the
character.
Princess Peach, come
Yeah,
save
yeah,
me.
or like the Black Widow in Avengers,
They're like,
who's just all her lines are just flirtatious, and but she's like a badass and she's been trained by every agency in the world and she kicks ass, but like you don't really know much about her. Well, until Endgame, that is, which is great, and now she's getting her own movie, so good for her.
I mean,
But I
everyone got
mean,
their own movie, so hey,
yeah,
except
that's what I'm.
Hawkeye,
Well,
rest in peace.
well, Hawkeye's movie was Avengers too, so
yeah,
she
everybody,
got.
welcome to the Marvel podcast.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Well, no, but all this to say that, I feel like Winry and Izumi and all that, they had their distinct personalities and it helps them stand out. And I think they're awesome characters.
Yeah, shout out to Nina. Anyway.
Yeah, there's another. Oh, man. Come on, Max.
yeah, she
Well,
really
there's also.
transformed throughout the show.
I am going to kill both of you. I swear. There's also another female character coming up who, I mean, we're not going to talk about, but I absolutely adore her.
Oh yes,
Oh,
yes, I
May Chang or something?
What?
no, no,
It's presented.
that's
It's
Panda
made.
Girl. No, not her. She's
No,
like
no, not
whatever.
Panda Girl. She hasn't been revealed in the story yet, but you
Oh,
know,
okay.
I think you know who I'm talking about.
All
No,
right, we'll
but
pretend you
let's
do.
We'll
pretend.
pretend you do because if I say any more, then it'll be a spoiler. So
Yeah, that's fine.
forget it.
All right, cool.
Oh man.
Oh, okay. So in that same note, like in that
Yeah.
same like area of chapters and story, King Bradley like kills the girl in Owl.
Oh yeah, that
Like
was
what the
brutal.
fuck? That's so creepy. For
Wait,
one,
wait, wait. What was this?
When the girl Martell or whatever, the snake girl was
Snake
hiding
Girl,
inside Alphonse's
Oh
body,
yeah, that was
and Alphonse
wild.
was trying to protect her.
and then
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
King Bradley just straight up stabs in his armor and just like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that's it.
yeah.
And then
GG,
Al
bro.
goes through trauma and remembers his previous trauma.
oh
And
yeah,
he's
that
like,
was intense.
That was so wild. I honestly forgot that she died inside it sounds weird to say
yeah,
it
and
like
then
that.
Ed was
Which,
washing that out later. It's like, oof.
which actually it was a subtle point I wanted to bring up. But how did Ed manage to wash the blood off of Al's blood symbol?
He took.
It's probably like I think like most blood is like marker, and then that's permanent marker.
I don't
Because
know,
he
because
alchemized it.
later
Yeah, I
on you
guess.
see the butcher, the dude like touches it, and then
That's the thing. Because Barry's body, which we'll talk about in a sec, because that's actually one of my talking points. It's
sort of
related anyway.
rubs up inside.
Yeah, Barry's body just literally scratches at the symbol that Barry's armor was using to live,
Oh
and
yes, yes. Well, maybe
he
You know
just
what?
wipes
I'm
it
just
off like
gonna
it's a
say this.
stain.
It's just convenient that she didn't. That's it.
because blood is liquid, so it goes to the bottom
I mean,
eventually, so they just
No,
wiped
it
off like the
flashed up. It
bottom.
was all over the place. What do you
I
mean?
guess like maybe they cleaned it off while it was still fresh, and they used the alchemy to like water bend it out or blood bend it or whatever.
Yes, yes. And then they
Yeah.
add an air freshener in there.
Mm,
Oof, oof.
a little bit of Febreze, yeah, it gets stanky in
Yeah.
there. I see you.
All right,
Yeah.
but now the serious question. After Al went all through that trauma, he can do the alchemy without the circle. Who's
Mm.
stronger now, Ed or Al?
I mean, Al, the only thing that
Because he's better at kung fu. He can now do the alchemy without the circle.
But Ed's alchemy is better quality. That's showcased.
Oh, the spear, huh?
Well, not
uh
well the spear and I think they made that pony thing. Oh wait, that's way back in the day though. But no, yeah, that's the thing. You can tell when Al does his alchemy, it's still rough. Like you still see the marks
right,
like
right. Like
of
I think he said at one point like, "Oh, it didn't come out as like I wanted it to, but it's good enough."
exactly,
Mm.
exactly. And then when you pulled out that spear against Lust, it looked rough and she sliced through. I mean, she could cut through anything, but she cut through it as if it was nothing, you know. But
Yeah,
the
I'm pretty sure she
spear
she can
still
cut
looked
through anything.
yeah, but
Marie did call her the ultimate lance.
yeah, yeah,
I'm
but the
guessing she's
spear
full attack.
still looked rough as hell. You know, it still had those weird alchemy marks as if it was poorly created kind of thing.
Right, but
Not that
like
it was, but
physically, Edward is just no match. Like Alphonse can't feel pain, can't
No
feel
stamina.
yeah, unlimited stamina. He's not ever
and
hungry.
stamina.
Shut up.
Yeah, but but I mean, to be fair, all Ed would have to do is wipe off the seal
Oh, come on,
if they
BJ.
were put in this,
Come
you know,
on.
BK, you
kill or
say
be
that,
killed
that Al
situation.
only has one weak spot. Ed's all of his organs are weak spots. Like, what do you mean?
Ye-
Except his arm and
Yeah,
leg.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like because Ed has more experience right now. If you ask the same question, if you ask me the same question later in the story, then I'd say Ed 100%.
Oh, okay.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Um,
right now, I'd say Ed probably has the slight upper hand.
so I didn't personally write down as a talking point, but I imagine it will be a talking point. So
Mm.
how did you guys enjoy seeing the Flame Alchemist just spam Fireball on Lust?
Well,
Oh,
if you'll allow me to develop this, because this was actually one of my talking points.
go for it.
It's a little more general than what you just said, but I'm curious to know what you guys think about like I I came up with this name and I'm copywriting it because I love it. What do you guys think of the Mustang Gang as a whole?
Oof.
Ooh,
Him
the
and his
Mustang
soldiers
Gang.
and yeah, right?
That sounds neat.
Right? Yeah. What do you guys think of
Well,
them
I
as a
was
whole?
gonna go the Roy Boys, but then
The
Oh,
Roy
the
Damn,
Roy Boys and the Mustang Gang. Gee.
damn, dude.
but the problem is there's
Copyright
a
I'm
bullshit.
not mad
Hawkeye.
about those names. Those names sound clean. Aye.
All right,
True.
Hawkeye ain't a well. She's not a boy. Damn,
Yeah, so I
Mustang Gang
guess
it is.
you win by
She's a boy
default.
in the heart. Like, don't worry about
Oh
No,
man.
I don't want to
Well,
be attached to whatever that means.
yeah.
it.
Well, what do you guys think of them as a whole? You know, let me
Uh,
just to give you guys a few bones there, so you don't start in the dark. But like, what do you think about each member in terms of personality? Do you
Well,
think they were
for the
distinct and
first,
stuff?
they're one man down, so that sucks
well,
already.
yeah, but I
Yeah.
love I love the way Havoc. Well, it's like everybody that is comedic at the beginning somehow ends up with like a tragic like conclusion.
Serious.
So
hmm
that's a little disappointing because I really like Havoc. Um, the others so far haven't grown on me yet.
hmm
Like even Hawkeye, which I don't think I'd be spoiled to say that she becomes interesting. Like even she's like a little overly cold, so it's hard to get attached to her yet.
We
Um,
saw in a little flashback though of Hawkeye. She sort of seemed like an assassin aiming
yeah, she was like playing Call of Duty,
at
dude.
Mustang. Yeah. I don't
She
know.
was 360 no scope in Mustang, dude.
I'm excited to see how that developed. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
Well,
Mustang was noob tubing, dude.
well, yeah. Well, you want what? Do you not? Are you saying you don't really like Hawkeye's character right now?
So far, like apart from her showing that she's like a strong, independent woman, like I don't really
Hmm.
have much to work with. Um, I think when we visit, because I know from reading everything that she becomes interesting, but like so far there isn't really much to work with, I believe.
She's mostly
hmm
assistant and like Overwatch, basically.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Okay.
And
Well, would you?
the others, like the only guy I really like was Havoc, and he had like beginning and conclusion in the chapters we read, so it feels like a more well-rounded product. The rest like haven't really shown anything too interesting.
I get you. I get what you're saying. Uh, I agree with I agree with what you're saying for the most part, but I like that, despite their limited screen time, I feel like they all have distinct personalities, and I
Right,
could
yeah,
come to like
I
all
believe
of
that.
those characters. I mean, yeah, it's like you said, later on, a few of them do get more development, and well, I mean, uh, like you said, Hawkeye gets more development.
The fat
This isn't really
guy,
helping my point, but
glasses,
yeah, the big one, like has his moment
white Brock.
when they find each other in the desert there. But that's the thing I was going to say. Despite their limited screen time, I feel like their personalities are really distinct from one another. They all have a fully developed character, in their story. I think that's super cool,
Right, it's
honestly.
nice that they're
I
not
just thought it
carbon
was something I'd like to
copies,
touch on. Exactly,
but I
exactly.
just don't feel that like if I wanna start talking about how great they are, like I don't have much to work with yet.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I just wanted to highlight the fact that, despite that we don't know much about them and that they haven't been there too much. They came in and they were super cool while they were there, and I like the characters and I like the dynamic that's going on with Mustang and all that.
All right, cool. So okay, I got a talking point.
Yeah,
Um, did
go for it.
Lust live up to her name?
Well, I
Hmm.
didn't see her fuck anybody,
Yeah, like there's no fan
so
service. No, I'm not saying that it has to be fan service, but like like
you
it,
on you dirty dog.
Greed was obviously greedy. What's the hunger called? Is it called hunger? No, it's called
Gluttony.
No, it's gluttony.
yeah, gluttony is like derpy, and he's like hungry because he wants to eat like every dead body.
Yeah.
Like
But
he
he,
says like, yeah, can I
we
eat
know
him?
this, but he becomes disgustingly OP at the end or something.
Yeah, and envy. Well, envy we don't
He
know too
becomes
much. Wrath, like at least we know that this guy's brutal as shit.
Yeah. They named
yeah,
Pride, but we don't exactly know what he is, who
We
he is.
They do name Pride and Sloth, but we don't learn much about them just yet.
We just saw Sloth, just some big dude
Yeah, exactly.
hmm
who
So,
apparently is lazy and is working.
and I mean, like Lust
yeah.
never
Well,
really does anything that.
She kills everyone.
Yeah,
What?
but that's not Lust, is it?
Yeah, Les just stabs everyone through
yeah.
the
Well, to
body.
be fair,
Forehead.
you can't have them just play to their names to a T,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
otherwise Lust would just walk around naked and be a hoe the whole time. But I mean,
I mean, she was a hoe
Lust
with
could
habit.
probably
But we're not
encompass
gonna
a
talk
lot. Lust is one of the basic, obviously that's their whole naming scheme is the seven deadly sins or whatever. And lust encompasses a lot of things. So maybe, like passion, and maybe that could be better used to describe her character a little more because, I don't know. She definitely uses lust to her advantage, like the lust of other people to
Well,
gain
okay, she does.
information, which
I
for
believe
the most part she's capable of getting.
she does attract havoc. I believe
about. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
In the
Yeah, stuff like
anime,
that.
wasn't she Mustang's girl at one point?
Mustang was that.
I
Mustang
couldn't tell you.
was
Wasn't
with
that
a
a
I don't
lot
thing
of
remember.
girls.
in the anime? Not the 2000, not the Brotherhood, but the
2003
2003
one.
one. Yeah,
Ooh, no idea.
I thought that was a thing.
I mean,
Oh, oh, you lost me with that one, man. I have no idea.
yeah. Well,
Because they wake up with this whole part.
Uh,
I don't even think happened 2000. Well, like Lust dies, but like later on, the story doesn't even go that way in the end.
um, no, I don't
yeah,
remember
well, they
that.
diverge, right? Because the manga wasn't
I
finished.
know, but they diverge hella early, like
Oh, I
fucking
want to come
35 chapters
back
in.
later around to where the anime diverges, but I don't think this is the right moment just yet. Um, okay, how about this?
Yeah, no
So,
problem. I will
talking
talk
about.
about. I will talk about the. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go first.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I think just
Ah,
to
no,
expand
you go
upon
for it.
just to expand upon Wrath, like this guy's brutal, dude. Like he called pretty much the genocide of the Ishbalans.
Yeah.
Um, it does help.
Yeah.
It does help. I think we
Well,
learned like there's a lot of countries nearby. There's like
I
a
was.
complex
Yeah.
political structure. Yeah.
I mean,
Well, that's what
they
I
said
was gonna.
why before, like why they had the war. Like Lus explained it.
Um.
It's
What?
it was for human sacrifices. She said so.
Well, did she really?
Yeah, in the earlier chapters.
I is it that early? Oh, well,
I
maybe.
I don't remember that, dude. It might be.
Should have
I
probably
don't remember reading that,
reread it
Max.
this
Not in
morning,
these
but
chapters, anyway.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
No, it
let's
was like
just
in
go
the
ahead and
earlier
read
chapters.
fucking 20.
uh,
Well, they talk about human sacrifice
yeah.
being, the driving force behind their Philosopher's Stone creations, but I don't think she implicitly stated that that's why the war happened. Is it?
I'm pretty sure.
Well, I digress. I was actually going to build on that point about the wars happening. Which one of the big points that in the first episode we talked about was you guys didn't think that the world building was expansive enough. You guys didn't think it was big enough, right?
Well, I think that
I remember you guys talking about that.
the author, I don't want to use the word cock tease, but she sort of cock teases us with like this
You
expansive
could just say
universe.
tease. You know? Yeah.
Right, I forget. Yeah, so like she sort of baits us in with this expansive universe, but even by the end, like we explore like what seems like 10% of the world.
Up to where we are now, you think?
Like up to where we are now, we're at like 5%, and then by the end of it, I
You
think we only,
think?
I think so.
Like we went
Well, I
across the
mean,
desert to visit a ruin, not even the next nation. It's like,
well,
Yeah,
yo, I think
I mean,
even if this
in
is
just
five,
these few chapters, we learned there's at least four other countries, I think.
and we only
yeah. Well, I
visit
mean,
one of them, I think, after.
if this is 5%, that's a lot of stuff. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like we
No,
learned
no,
a
no, this is
lot
still
more about the
impressive,
world.
yes, but
Yeah, well, just going off of what Max said about the wars, we learned that Amestris, which is the name of the country they're in right now, is fighting multiple wars on different fronts in the north and in the west. They finished Ishbal in the south when that was over, right? Ishbal's in the south. Is that what it was?
right.
East.
Yeah, well, anyway, whatever it is, they had their Ishbal war, and that happened. And I feel like, that gives a lot of context to the fact that this country is now a military state, run
Right.
by a government which is basically a large police force. I feel like that's excellent world building. We learned about, the Ishbalan War and, the country's bloodstained past involving that war, uh, how a lot of these militants basically who seemed so innocent at first now seem like really corrupt. Like we learned about this one alchemist who shows up later that we won't talk about, but
Oh, him, yeah.
we learn how the war affected a lot of people like Armstrong, who still
Yeah, he still has like
seem
PTSD.
to be a little traumatized by all this. And exactly, exactly. We learn how Mustang, despite being like cool and collected, still has some shocking memories from that war too. Because I mean, I'm pretty sure we're led to believe that he killed a kid at some point. Was that what
Yeah.
that
Dude,
was?
he was noob
Right?
tubing. He doesn't even look at what blows up. He probably blew up like everything.
Well, anyway, regardless, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in the later.
Oh yeah. Quick
Dude,
thing
he
on
was
that. The Ishbals. The
he
Ishbals.
he got 25 kill streaks every day,
Yeah, and then he called
dude.
in like the airstrikes, and he's the
Yeah,
airstrike.
Yo, why do you
yo,
guys
do your
think
balls
Ishbal
itch?
still stayed in that country and didn't just go to another one?
Well, it is still your country, dude. You gotta have some.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think
No, because now they're
they that was
refugees.
their
They're in
country.
refugee
Amestris just
camps.
took it
Like,
over
why
with a
didn't they
war.
go to any other like Zing or
Exactly. They
the other
left
Krita or
Ishbal
some
and
stuff
fucking
like
they're in
that?
hiding.
Well,
They live in slums. Where else are they gonna go?
like I think
Well, I mean
we.
that white dude found them, so I don't know. It doesn't seem like
Well, they'd
it's
have to pass
difficult.
through Amestris to get there anyway, and I'm pretty sure.
And there's like a desert between whatever country Edward
Oh,
I don't
is
know. I
in.
just feel like
yeah.
I just
Right.
I
Amestris
agree
and
with that.
Shin.
Man,
Anyway,
we're getting heated on
I
geography.
think it's
Okay.
called Shin, right? Is that what it is? Shin?
Zing, like
Zing.
Xing.
Not getting heated, but just to go back, yeah, Sting, there you go. Just to go back to the world building, we learn about the Ishbals themselves while on the subject. We learn a lot about Scar and what happened to the people after the war, that they're all refugees and they live in slums because what once was assumedly this proud race of warrior priests or whatever is now just these ragtag group of stragglers that are everywhere in the world. And they're not just in Amestris. We found a group in the desert too when Ed
Right.
and Armstrong go there.
Hmm.
So a lot of them fled, but maybe a lot of them didn't have the means to get that far because they have nothing.
no, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, they can't run that
They're
far.
spread out. They're spread out. Yeah.
Um.
Mm.
Okay, so moving on. What?
Well, anyway, just closing thoughts on this. Sorry. While keeping all this in mind, what do you guys think of the world building now? Do you feel that it's still not as developed as it could be?
No, I think the problem is in that. Well, it's not even a problem. So the problem for me was never that it wasn't developed enough because I'm engaged in the story. I'm engaged with the universe that she created. I'm just saying that there's just so much more that it almost it's like when people will give you like an empty box. Have you guys seen the Family Guy thing where it's like you can have like money or you can have a boat or you could have whatever's in the box.
Mm.
Or it's like and then Peter's like
Like
it
game
could
shows
even
and stuff.
no, and then Peter's like anything could be inside this box, even a boat. I feel like she
Okay.
tells us that there's like so much more, and then she never shows us.
Well, at the same time, if those other countries, just as an example, are, I mean, if they're not important to the story, then would you really want to know about them in the first place? I mean,
Well,
she could
that's
touch on
that's
them
the
a
thing.
little
She
bit,
made
but
it important. Well, she made it relevant to the
Seem
story.
important because
Yeah, exactly.
they're at war with them technically.
Right, and then there's like
yes, and we know that that serves a greater purpose, but at the same time, those are just pawns, you know. On a chessboard, you don't want to know the life story of every little pawn. You want to know about the big pieces and
no
what their
VJ. I
role in the
care about
story is.
everybody's feelings. I'm not like you. I'm not cold and detached.
No, you don't. You have told me multiple times that you hate everyone equally. You are a liar.
Well, I treat everybody equally by hating everybody equally. Um,
So don't say you care about the pawns because you couldn't care less about the pawns.
okay. Well, how about this? I read through.
Let's change topic. I'm wrong. Okay. All right.
Uh,
Yeah, change the topic, you on you jackasses.
okay. So the thing that people from Zing use, I guess they're called like Zingies or something.
Yeah, the
Um,
zingies.
Thingies.
yeah.
Yeah,
Bruh.
sure,
Uh,
sure.
they they use like a different alchemy, and even though
No, they
I've
use
I've
ninja alchemy
yeah,
straight
even
up.
though I've watched the show and I've read it again now, I still don't quite understand how it works.
Like their medical alchemy.
Like,
No, no, but the girl used her kunai knives to do a circle and then put that circle onto the rocks
yeah,
and
I'm
then
still not I'm still not quite sure I understand how their alchemy works.
I mean they explained
Um,
none of it. They just showed it for like a quick sec, so
No, I think they said something like it comes from the earth, but then they don't understand how it comes from the earth, or
no, it
like
comes from the Sage of the West,
what?
is what they said. Yeah.
yeah, but the power of the alchemy itself. I mean, she did
Oh.
trace a circle
With
She traced
connecting
an
the
alchemy
kunai
circle,
together. Yeah, she traced an alchemy circle through the kunai knives.
and then
Maybe
through the
it's
kunai
just like a
knife.
long range alchemy technique because I mean she's the only one who we see perform alchemy like that.
True.
So, and again, it's cool. It would be cool to learn a little bit more about it, but I mean, I would prefer to not waste a whole chapter learning about it because then we get into filler. It like we get a brief description about how it works and what it entails. We see a brief presentation, like a showcasing of it, and then, that's all we need to know. Are you
Man,
really
you
gonna
have you have
question the
something
lo
against the filler, dude. What's wrong with having fun?
He doesn't like One Piece. That's why.
Name me, name
Anyway,
me, name me
anyway.
one good filler arc that you've seen.
Dragon Ball GT.
Ugh, facts. That is good.
That's really.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
enjoy Dragon Ball GT,
I
dude.
love Dragon Ball GT.
Mm,
He just died a
I
little
mean, it's.
inside.
Mm, I liked GT like the final season, I guess.
Bro, Super Saiyan 4 was great.
Yeah, dude, you like them going planet to planet finding Dragon Balls with fucking
Oh
King
yeah,
Goku again
Yeah,
and
with
shit
dude.
we've seen before.
baby Goku.
Lose, yeah, we see them lose all their fighting progress. None of
Yep,
them can become Super Saiyan anymore.
yep.
Yeah, what's wrong
You
with
like
that?
seeing that? Well, I mean, it's dumb because we know they could do it.
Wait, did
So
Trunks never go Super
they
Saiyan?
he
Yeah, he
goes
did.
Super Saiyan like twice and he gets bodied each time, but it's like
Oh, that's kind of
how
sad.
how that's what I'm saying. Like, how could you show these characters to be so powerful and then revert them back to this noob phase that they have when we've seen them be powerful? So all their problems seem trivial because it's like, well, why the fuck don't you just go Super Saiyan 2 and fuck shit up?
Well,
Well, you know what? You have to learn to like the story more. Okay,
I
learn
would
learn
if
to
it
love
was a
adventure,
good
BJ.
story. If it was a
Learn
good,
to love
I mean, I
adventure.
like it when Omega Shinron shows up. That's fine. I don't care about that. That's cool. Super
What
what?
Saiyan
about
4 was nice
Baby?
fan
Yeah, baby,
service.
baby Vegeta, baby Giant Ape. That was cool.
Was it? Was
Majin
it?
That whole ending was
Majub.
kind of wonky, but I still liked it.
Was it though? Was it? It was just more transformations. I don't know.
What have you
That's
seen?
the
It
whole
Okay,
was
fucking
nothing.
thing.
It
all right,
was
all right.
nothing we
We're
haven't
not
seen
we're not
Dragon
doing
before.
Dragon Ball right now.
We're
Maybe.
not
Ball.
doing Dragon Ball GT.
You
Not
have
that I
Okay,
nothing
didn't
against
like. Well, just
transformations. Dragon Ball Z ain't for you. Anyway, we're off topic.
I love Dragon Ball. What the fuck? Yeah, I didn't hate GT either. But anyway, moving on. It's fine.
where were we?
I just don't know.
Okay.
All right,
Um.
let's talk about Hohenheim and like how he looks like father.
Ooh. Well,
And
okay. First of
clearly
all, I love
two
the
different
design.
people.
I wish my facial hair could grow that way, cause like I wish I could do that, but
And that's
I
like
can't.
he's rocking the Tony Stark right there. It's looking good.
Uh, okay,
Uh.
not really.
Yeah.
What? Yeah,
He
he
looks
is.
like a cold attached murderer, but let's go with he looks like Tony Stark real quick.
What are you talking about? Bro, that is straight up, minus the mustache, that is straight up Tony Stark.
Oh no.
Eh,
Yeah.
his beard's way too thick. Anyway,
Yeah. I'm with
Bro,
Max
have you
here.
watched The Last Avengers? It's literally what his beard. Well, it is too thick, obviously, but I was talking more about the points of his chin coming up to me. Anyway, it's fine. You know what? It's fine. Y'all just want to be against me today. It's fine.
All right.
all right, fuck
Well,
you,
glad you know
BJ.
your place in the
Anyway,
world. Okay. Okay, well, I actually had a story regarding Zing. So, I messaged you guys like a little
no
while
well,
back that
shit.
I had like a little story. So
Go
when
for
I
it.
first read, well, I guess to give context, can you guys sort of describe our hometown, like demographics wise?
Wait. Sorry, what?
Can
Who's
you sort of
hometown?
describe like what would be like your guess of the population breakdown in terms of ethnicities of our hometown?
Uh,
Like Montreal?
Yeah, like how much percent white, black, Asian?
it's a pretty mixed bag, you want? I don't know.
Okay, well anyway,
I'm gonna
as
say a good
I
40
could say
white,
like majority white.
40 white, and then it's 10% across
so
different.
as a kid, I remember reading through this and then because I was this Asian kid, right?
Yeah,
Because I am
Mm.
of the Asian religion.
national.
Um,
It's a religion now.
Nice.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
So
the
I remember
Asian.
reading this, and then it's like, and then everybody in this manga is pretty much white, right?
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah,
whoa, there's like a place that's like with Asian people. It's like me.
that's true. We do. Well, the thing is that Asians are represented because, I mean, technically every anime is stars Asian characters, but they just, is it racist to say that they look white? Because I mean they
Considering.
do.
You can step into the minefield, BJ.
I mean it's true. They do. They got. Oh man, I'm gonna dig a
Their
hole. I'm just
ideal
starting
is
to
to
dig a
be
hole. I need
white,
to stop. Well, that's
not
what
to
I'm
be.
saying. Like they, it's not racist to say that they look white because they do, right?
No, I mean like I pretty much accepted that like the Elric brothers are white. Um,
Well, I'm not just
Izumi's
talking Full Metal Alchemist. I'm talking because this services your point because now we have a clear. It's clear that the Elrics are white, and then there's this Asian. Well, this country that's influenced by Asian culture.
right.
But I mean, in most anime, it's they say they're Asian or Japanese, but I mean,
Well, yeah. If
they,
when they say, "Oh,
they
welcome
look.
to our Japanese high school," it's pretty obvious it's Asian. But
Yeah, like when you look at like Ippo or something, like that dude don't look Japanese.
uh,
Wait, Ipo's Japanese?
I think Ippo's
Yes,
very Japanese, dude.
Ah,
I
that's what
mean,
I'm
if like
saying.
okay, like we could go back to Dragon Ball. Like that's ambiguous, I guess.
Well, I mean that's a made up land anyway, so that's whatever. But yeah,
Wait, there's no dinosaurs outside?
I got some bad news for you.
I haven't been outside in a while, so
Yeah,
anything can happen.
it's been a minute for everybody, I think.
Okay. Either way, I think that was just a fun little story. What do you guys have?
Well, I mean, going off of Hohenheim's. Well, we find out who the Elric's brother's father is.
Right.
Hohenheim. We also learn about the truth about human transmutation, which I thought was super cool. I remember this shit blew my mind back in the day because you know, the guilt that was weighing down on the Elrics and even Izumi about trying to bring back someone from the dead, and then the realization that it's just not possible, and the people that they thought they brought back were actually just strangers, or like in Al's case, it was him but not him.
it
It,
wasn't his body. Yeah,
yeah,
Well,
can I get your opinions on that, by the way? Because that was so weird to me. That was a little confusing.
yeah,
Like what they brought back exactly?
Well, because Al said he saw Ed through the eyes of the thing they brought back, but the thing that they thought was their mom, but it wasn't their mom. It was Al? Question mark.
but
Yeah,
like,
because he paid with his body for Ed to go through the door. So I guess they took something from his body, but the exchange that they put out, like the whatever the body ingredients, was enough to bring parts of his body back, and Al's soul was still there. And then that thing died, and then Ed sacrificed his leg and arm and shit to bring his soul into the armor. Is what I think
okay,
happened.
so you're saying it's because I understood it as this is a completely different being. And then like sure, Alphonse got to look through its eyes, but doesn't mean that it is Alphonse.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
It's weird, right? Like it's I don't
Because it
know.
had black hair.
Yeah, it had black
That's what
hair.
I'm
I
saying.
think
It was just
Alphonse in the flashbacks have like blonde hair.
he does. Yeah, he's got like dirty blonde hair or brown hair.
Um, so and then like Izumi also digs up her. First of all, that's really weird that she's
Did
able
she pick
to.
up or did she
It
just look?
She dug up.
Okay.
Which, by the way, but sorry, Yuan, before you continue on your point, I really like how the author demonstrated how much Ed was struggling with confronting his past. Like he felt so burdened by this traumatic event. Like he was like throwing up while he was digging up his mom in quotes his body.
Right.
I thought that was super
Right,
cool.
because like if he's wrong about his theory, he's
They just
desecrating
dug up
his
his mom.
mother's grave like 3 times now.
Exactly, exactly. So I thought that was a really cool touch that the author included. But go
Okay.
ahead with your point, Yuan. Sorry.
So yeah, like we see that Izumi also had like this burden in her heart that she also thought that she killed her child twice, which I thought was also very powerful. Um,
Mm,
so I did want to talk
exactly.
about. So we all know that the 2003 anime at a certain point deviated from the manga, right? So
Yeah,
Hmm.
I remember this specifically that Izumi's son was in the 2003 anime was Wrath.
yeah,
And then I did a little
What?
bit of research.
What?
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
'Cause he sort of comes back and he is a
And to give
homunculus.
some context, Bradley isn't Wrath in the 2003 anime. It was he was Pride, and then Sloth was whatever the brothers created.
Oh yeah.
What the
Oh
fuck?
yeah.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
that actually blew me because I stopped watching. Like, I want to say halfway through. So I didn't get to the sloth part, but I specifically remember Wrath and Pride. Well, at least their version of Wrath and Pride. Which do you guys like that? Because even though it sounds weird, if we
I
want to
mean, you
stick to
the weirdest part about 2003 was the
the
owl being the philosopher's stone or some shit.
oh,
Like
I thought it was
it
gonna
was
be
in his body and like what?
the
Anyway.
bird boyfriend. I thought that was weird too.
I'm actually shocked right now. I had no idea that that was a thing.
Yeah, 2003 was a great time.
It,
Simpler times.
it's it's interesting for sure, but I mean they had to. How does it make sense? You know what I mean? Like because for
We
them to
see
become
Yuan
homunculi,
here with the whole boy, like her son thing. This is probably where they cut off at one point. No,
Yeah, I think
well,
it's
it
around
has to.
here.
Well, it's definitely where they cut
It's
off. But I mean, how
obviously
does that
before Wrath is revealed. So
exact?
why would they make an anime so early? This thing only has 25 chapters.
I
It's
don't know,
just
dude.
for
To cash in.
to increase popularity of the manga itself and to get more money, dude.
Yeah.
People get offered deals. You don't choose when you release the anime. Like if your manga's popular enough, like a studio will just be like, "Hey, we'll pay you this much money to make an anime out of it."
I
I
know it just
think
seems
that's how
very
it works, right?
quick. That's all.
Yeah, it's pretty much just a popularity contest, and it doesn't really matter.
Exactly. That's the thing. If your manga's popular enough and the studio pays you enough, it's like, sure, why the fuck not? And then
Mm.
it depends on how fast the anime pumps out episodes.
Right.
So,
And then I mean like just as a thought exercise, I thought this was a neat thing to add because like Father obviously created them, created
yeah.
the homunculi, so I don't think it's that much of a stretch that their failures can be also homunculi too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, at the same time, it's been established at this point that philosopher's stones take a lot of sacrifices to be created, right?
Right. Yeah.
So then how could a homunculus be created from the body of a child and the arm and leg of another? You know? or the insides of an adult. Wouldn't it take way more than that to create a homunculus? It's a cool concept for sure, but I mean, I don't
Well, now
know. There's a logic hole there.
with the death of Lust, we realize that the homunculus's core is a philosopher's stone.
Right.
That's what
But
I'm saying.
how much power does that like that needs an incredible amount of sacrifice to be made because we looked at all the other philosopher's stones
Yeah,
and
well,
like how they got used up relatively quickly.
I mean,
yeah,
Marco had one too, no? Like he had one in a tiny vial
Yeah.
but it was incomplete.
because it was
The
liquid.
hum Yes,
No.
as far as we're led to
No.
believe right now, the only
Once put on the
complete
table, it becomes
Philosopher's
hard.
Stones.
Are in the
Well, as far as
homunculi.
yeah, those are the only completed stones are in the homunculi.
Oh, okay.
Everything else that come in different shapes, like the pastor's ring or the liquid form, that's all incomplete.
Yeah, they're like
That's why they're
bootleg.
so fragile and they
Quick
break. Yeah,
side note:
exactly.
when they melted down greed, is that what
Mm,
Father drank? The Philosopher's Stone?
Oh,
yeah, yeah, he
yeah.
drank his Philosopher's Stone.
Okay, I'll just make sure.
I
I
mean,
wasn't
I thought
sure.
that was
Yeah,
just
He
a
just
cool
sort of drank the
idea.
red liquid, and I was like, okay.
Like,
yeah.
I heard that the anime would, well, because I didn't finish watching the 2003 one. I thought the 2003 one gets a lot of bad rap, but honestly, it's not a terrible idea.
Well,
About
it's not like it's a
what?
super bad anime either, right? It's
Yeah, yeah, it's not a bad
pretty
anime.
high ranked
I
in
like it.
terms of popularity. Yeah,
Right.
it's just compared to the like what the actual story becomes, it's like what the hell?
All right.
Why does this have metal? Yeah, it's like a completely different thing. It's its own beast kind of thing.
All right. What else do you got for us?
I kind of wanted to briefly bring up. Well, first of all, well, this encompasses a few points that we've touched on, but I won't talk too much about the other ones because I just want to ask you guys. You know, when Mustang and Havoc are fighting Lust in the lab,
Right.
Hmm.
Hawkeye and Al are there too, right?
Yeah, on the other side somewhere.
and
Yes.
and they're and they're like they're running somewhere or they're chasing Barry into a room and they get in that big white room with the giant door
Yeah.
with the alchemy
Oh
circle
yeah,
on it.
we touched like a tiny bit last episode, but like the room is just so interesting as like a story device because it
Yeah,
has
it's a
like
cool concept.
yeah, go for it.
Go ahead, sorry. No, go ahead. It's your
No,
turn
like
to go first.
I said that I wish we could revisit it. I don't know if we want to revisit it now. Just that like even the design of the door has like a lot of neat stuff on it. Um, yeah, that's what all I had to say.
Yeah. Well, I think I agree with you in terms like the concept. It's cool, but I don't remember it actually doing anything. Does it contribute something to the story? Is it spoiler-y to
No, well,
say
it
that?
opens the door sometimes and it drags
It
people
by
in.
means the door to their hideouts. I'm guessing it's where Father is, right?
Um,
Okay.
is
Okay,
Because
I
he said
totally
they were
forgot.
right outside
Okay, okay.
later
Well,
on.
wow, that's a pretty shitty secret door to be put in there
I mean
that
if
leads
you
straight to your hideout. That's
I mean,
another thing.
it
Why
was
didn't Hawkeye
relatively
and Al
deep,
just
and they walked through a maze of corridors. So,
true, but I mean, why didn't Hawkeye and Al just go through it? They
because
were
I think you
there.
have
Bucky
to
died,
sacrifice
and
something
like
every time
Hawkeye
though.
was in shock.
Hold on,
Al is
y'all
all
gonna have
cut
to
up.
talk one at a time. I don't hear shit
All
right
right, go
now.
ahead first,
No, I'm
Max.
sorry. Well, I mean, Hawkeye was in shock. The Havoc was injured. So was Mustang. Al's all cut up. Like, they need to get fixed before they go into through any weird door.
Okay, it was like a priorities thing. It was like, well,
Yeah.
we
Also,
could go
Hawkeye's
check
out
the
of
door, we
bullets.
could
Like, she
die.
can't shoot. Anyway.
Yeah, okay, I feel you. So it was like a priority thing. It was like we gotta go get healed or we're gonna flip and die.
Well, I mean, Havoc was about to die, so.
I
Yeah.
got you. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay.
Then
Yeah,
Bradley not killing
They
them
had
was
more
an
pressing
interesting
matters, I
choice.
guess.
yep, yep.
They had more pressing.
Okay.
Okay, I could see that then. Just sorry, before you go on, I do because we talked a little bit about Mustang and his gang, Mustang gang, and you did talk about you on how he bodied Lust.
Right.
I think that was well. I mean, while Lust wasn't the one who killed Havoc, the fact that she, egged him on about it and she was taunting him with it, I thought that was another cool touch that the author showed because, like we talked about before, Mustang is a pretty cool and collected dude, but you can really see sometimes how the death of Hughes affected him, and he's become really vindictive. So like, that whole Maria Ross cover up, which is something we haven't even talked about
Oh
yet.
yeah, that's weird that we didn't touch it, but okay.
Yeah, well, we can get to that in closing thoughts, but yeah, the whole like that when he first interviewed Barry, it was a pretty smooth interrogation until the end where the mood gets really serious and
Right,
he takes on a very grim
yeah.
tone and he's like, "Did you kill Hughes?" And Barry's like, "Nope." And
Nope.
then Mustang's like,
Okay.
"Okay, I guess I won't kill you." But like that comes up multiple times. Like it happens with Lust, it happens with Barry, it happens at another point later. But so I thought that was just a really cool touch.
Mm.
It gives a lot of depth to his character.
Right. Um, okay, one thing I did want to ask about is why I didn't quite understand why, because whatever the Elric brothers brought back, quote unquote, or spawned using their alchemy, means that Alphonse can get his body back.
Well,
Oh,
the explanation was that because they didn't truly give up Al's soul and body to make their mom, they came to the conclusion that Al's body had to be somewhere because he's still living. He's still living technically, despite not having a body and a soul. Like his mind still retains information from present things. Like otherwise, he would forget everything
yeah,
he's
his
learned.
memory is going somewhere.
Exactly, exactly.
So you,
Because
so you
currently,
think that they have a chance to save Al, well, and Edward, because they failed? So
yeah,
Yes.
if that had succeeded, they would be screwed.
Well, that's the thing. If that had succeeded, Al probably wouldn't have been able to be transferred onto the armor because that would have been Al. Al would have been in that body, like it would have been the substitute. That's it.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, it's basically it's like Max said, like his memories go somewhere, so that leads Ed to believe that his body is somewhere and alive.
yeah, because they said that like the body split in between the body, the mind, and the soul. Currently, only Al's soul is in the armor, but the soul can't retain anything. It's
Exactly.
only the mind that can retain, as
Okay.
It's
per
it's
Yeah, I
what
the
they
guess.
tether
explained.
to his actual body, and I mean this, but they develop it a little more later in the story. But we're not going to talk about that, obviously.
That's fair.
So yeah. So
Mirror
tell
off.
me about how cool Mustang and his fake out Maria Ross killing was.
I just imagine like him telling his subordinate, "Oh, go get me some meat, some teeth, some skin and some hair." And then it's just like a weird ass afternoon for him.
Yeah, and then the coroner's like not at all impressed with what
It's
they
like,
gave him.
it's whatever.
It's like that's some shoddy work there, friend.
He's like, come on, man, you're better than this.
Anyone else could have figured it out,
Come on,
but
dude, it
just
even
because I'm your
smells like
friend.
bacon.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, honestly, expanding on that whole cover up thing, I knowing major plot points and events in the story, I find I don't remember a lot of minor stuff because my memory sucks like that.
Right.
But reading the story back, I think it's super cool how there's this sense of dread in the air, and I can never really remember who to trust. Every time a new character is introduced, no matter how minor, I'm like, shit, is he in on it with the conspiracy? Is he like actually a good guy? And it just leads me to remember. It just leads me to think like it leads me to how to say.
Be surprised again.
Yeah, I just keep getting surprised, and it makes me remember and like really respect the work that the author did here. How like nobody, aside from the established main villains and heroes, nobody is really good or bad fully. Everybody just has their own agenda, and they all float in this gray space. And everybody's here to just serve as their agenda. So if the conspiracy helps them, and like fighting for the homunculi helps them, then that's what they're gonna do. But it might not be for a totally selfish reason. Scar's out here killing people, but we find out why later, and you realize that maybe he's just had a really rough go of it, and it's almost justified, I guess you can say, because a lot of state alchemists, as you saw in the flashbacks
Are
of the Ishbal
corrupt.
War, were corrupted by this, sort of being drunk on power sensation that they have.
Right. I mean, for context, VJ, as a little baby, did you ever get one of those Jack in the Box toys?
I don't think I ever had one, no.
Because I think that would have worked really well on you. Because you would spin the wheel, and then the clown would pop up.
Yeah, I'd shit my pants every
Oh
time.
my
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
god.
would have
and
been
then
great.
you would like take a nap and like, oh, what's this? A box? And then you would
Well, I mean, as a
Yeah,
eat it.
child, you have very low memory retention until
yeah,
a certain age, so yeah.
that didn't get better with me. I retained that crappy memory retention as a child. You guys know this. It's fine.
Yo, something really important to touch on though. Do you guys feel like Armstrong is getting disheartened by the military, like through all their
Yeah,
actions?
like you can really tell he's like,
Struggling, like it's
yeah, he's
Yeah,
like
starting to
absolutely.
seeing
doubt what
Bradley
is right
just
or wrong.
fucking killing guys who used to be their comrades, and then
Absolutely.
with their whole Maria Ross death scene, burnt up corpse
For sure.
before he was in the loop.
Well, that's the thing. I thought, dude, I literally forgot Armstrong's reaction. I thought he was gonna fight Mustang then and there.
Oh, I was sure of that
Right,
too.
I think
He was holding it in. It was
Armstrong
crazy.
Armstrong shows like the most humanity of I think like all the characters so far.
I mean, he
Yeah,
shows the loyal soldier to like the army, but then he sees all the shit that's going down. He's like, I almost can't.
exactly. It goes back to his, his PTSD from the Ishbal War, because that's where it comes from, right? Because, he was killing people and now he feels real bad about it, so he's trying to be more of a humanitarian. But a lot of people in the military are not really going through with his ideals, such as Mustang in quotes, because he didn't actually kill Ross there, but Bradley, who killed the Chimera, who were their brothers in arms, um, and a bunch of others, corrupt state alchemists, corrupt police, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean this is also why I said in the last episode that Armstrong is probably my favorite character, and I think
Oh,
it just shows
definitely.
Oh,
that
yeah. I really,
I think
I
this is
really like his everything.
one of
His
his
family
qualities.
though.
Quick
His
shout out
sister
to
that we finally get to meet is actually not looking like a man, which is nice.
True. Oh my God, his sister. That was hilarious. Oh man, well, yo, a little shout out to before we talk about the whole Ross thing. Little shout out to Armstrong and Izumi's husband and their bromance.
Oh
Oh my
yes,
That
god.
has to be the best part of the anime for me, straight up.
The muscle flex. Oh my god.
Mm, it's so good. So yeah, guys, tell me a little bit about the whole Ross cover up. What do you think of that?
so I thought it was really interesting. Oh, well, I like first of all, I like that they touch back on the point that when Envy killed Hughes, he actually transformed into Maria first. So there's like a reason. It's not blindly
Hmm.
causing her to be the suspect. There's like a callback to that.
Yeah, there's motive. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
There's a good way to hide it too, because she shot one bullet.
Exactly.
it was a little bit hard for me to get invested in the fact that Maria was being
Accused.
suspected. Yeah,
Yeah.
accused. Because I don't like what I've read so far hasn't made me that interested in her.
I
Okay.
mean, she was just like a sidekick for a little while.
She was like not even she's like barely scratching like C grade as a character.
Yeah.
So it's like it's whatever.
Okay.
I did think it was neat that they abused the fact that Roy can burn stuff like to a char.
Yeah.
So I guess that's neat.
Hmm.
So it's an intelligent plan. It's just like from the get go, I wasn't too invested in her, so I didn't really care that
You
much.
didn't care, yeah.
Okay. What about you, Max?
I mean, I was wondering where they're going with it all. Like, why her? Like, the other guy also shot. It was just easier because when Envy transformed into her, it's like, oh, okay, everything makes sense. But her escaping to Zing was like, I guess that's where this is
Yeah,
going.
I mean,
But
just to go back, we never like see Zing. We never
we just see her leaving for Zing.
like. There's
You
not
know?
even like a cover page with like cover art that shows like her like doing something in Zing. Like it's just oh well, we're going to Zing. Okay, bye.
Like, if they didn't meet the guy from Zing, like the Foo guy, then
Yeah.
like, where the fuck was she gonna go then?
Well, that's the thing. It's because we don't really, that's what I was saying before. We don't really need to know everything about the country for it to be relevant in the story. We learn about some characters who come from there, and we learn a lot about them, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, but that's why I don't like it that she teases us with it, dude.
That's the whole point, though. It's because you want to know more, and that's what makes you read on. and then you learn more, but you only learn what's important to the story.
It's called building intrigue, Johan.
All right.
Speaking of building civilizations and I guess not stipulating on
Not
them.
the Mesopotamians, but okay, continue.
What? I was gonna refer to the ruined kingdom, Xerxes. That's what it's called,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, Zerg.
In the desert. Yeah. I mean, there's not too much to talk about it because we didn't see much, but there was that nice uh
Gate
that big
thingy.
ruined alchemy door. Yeah, and that's where we found other Ishbalans. But it was a cool little.
Did the Persian Empire have alchemy? I mean, like,
The Persian
actual
Empire.
Persian Empire.
Are you
Yeah, because
asking me
Xerxes
about
was
Talking
real
like
life
real life
knowledge?
right now.
yes, real
I
life.
I mean,
I
like,
don't
Was that
think
a study
so.
they had? I don't know that much about them. That's why.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure alchemy. I don't know, dude. I mean, I could look it up if you want. Let
I
me
will
look it
talk
up
about
for
this
you.
next time. We'll come
Let
back.
me look it up for you real quick. Alchemy. Uh, yeah, it looks pretty old. They might have Greco-Roman Egypt. So yeah, maybe. Was Persia before that? I can't remember.
I don't know. I haven't played Prince of Persia before.
Those games are incredible. You need to play those. Minus the second one. That game's hard as fuck. Fuck that game.
Okay.
Uh,
So yeah. Let's see. Okay, Barry versus Barry. How did you guys like that?
Bear versus
I
bear.
thought it was a
I
nice
thought that was
character resolution, I guess.
hardcore. Was you want to chop himself up?
Okay, but like, what was
Yeah,
moving Barry's body?
the soul of something else. And you know what? That actually helps to explain what was happening with Al. The body is still somewhere, and that's how Armor Barry was able to remember stuff. That was the connection people were making there, or people were making. That's the connection that Ed
Right.
made. It's a pseudo explanation. Right now, Al's other body, if well wherever it is, it doesn't really have another soul. Maybe as far as we know.
So like, this
I
is like a
mean,
case study, and then not Al, Edward thinks that this can apply to Al.
Well, it
no,
could.
guys,
I
wait.
think it was maybe some foreshadowing, which is possible.
Guys, but in this case with Barry, they just did a soul transfer. They didn't sacrifice the body to transfer the soul.
True.
Yeah, but I mean
So
it's
it just means
similar.
the body wouldn't have a soul; it would just rot there.
Yeah, but it's similar. Just I think it was more so not to make a direct parallel, but more to simplify the explanation that Ed gave about Al's body later.
Wait, because then if Barry killed his body, his mind is in his body. Would that mean he's killed himself though?
Yes, but he didn't win.
I know,
The
but if he
Barry
did, would
body.
that have happened? Like he chops his head and he would die because he killed
Yes,
himself. Right.
yes,
All right. What do you
absolutely.
guys think when Barry goes to heaven or hell? I'm not gonna decide for him.
It's
Um,
hell.
do you think he'll appear as the armor or as his body?
I think the body.
I think
There-
he'd appear as what he think he'd look like, which
Or if
would
we
be
go back to Dragon Ball, he's gonna be a little ball of flame.
no, he's just gonna be whatever, a
No,
machete
that's
or
Shaman
something.
King.
He's gonna be a machete.
He's gonna appear in heaven or in hell as a machete. Swear to God.
No, but he likes cutting stuff up. He doesn't like. Wait.
Yeah, if his body is a machete,
No, it's not a machete. It's a butcher's knife. He's gonna be a
butcher knife.
butcher's knife.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. He's gonna go to hell and be
I
reincarnated as
feel
a
like you can
butcher's knife.
decide where you want to be.
I don't
So
think that you get to
stupid.
decide. I think that's a heaven thing.
This is so dumb.
It's a heaven thing.
Oh man. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to talk about?
No, I think
I've covered all my
Covered pretty
points.
much what I wanted to cover.
yeah,
Yeah.
we actually did a pretty,
Decent job.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a pretty decent job. Obviously this time we didn't do as a Spark Notes like version of going through chapter by chapter, but I think I like this way too.
I like it too. We might have to make it a little more structured next time because we kind of
I
bounce
feel it was a lot
between
more
points.
interesting than what we did last time, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might have to
So
work on
yeah,
the
we could just
structure a
blame that
little
on
bit.
Jag, obviously.
Yeah, because it definitely was Jag's fault.
Yeah,
Fucking
exactly.
asshole.
Yeah. All right. So thank you everybody for listening. This has been another episode. Oh wait, I never said what chapter we're gonna read. So going through everything. Sadly, they didn't really like the problem. The well, quote unquote problem of Fullmetal Alchemist is that there's not really arcs per se. Unlike
There's just mood points here and there.
yeah. So, but I went through it, and I think we're gonna read chapters 45 to 70, which will be a good stopping point.
Okay.
Cool, no problem.
All right, perfect. All right, so thank you everybody for listening. My name is Yuan, and I don't have anything to advertise,
Yeah,
so.
what happened to fuck Jag, man?
Oh, right, right. Fuck Jag.
I'm VJ and fuck Jag.
I'm
Yes.
Max. Don't forget to wear rubber.
Oh
Goodbye.
my God.